Are you with me? So the technologies we have seen excellently .NET related, which are the ISP or the ADO, whatever. We saw the Ajax and we saw the XML. Beside of that, we are going to see the new, let's say, technology also, which is also related to the web only, and it is going to be compatible 100% with the ASPX solutions, which is actually the jQuery mainly, which is a technology. It is an effect adding tool. It would add actually an extra value, a clear extra value and another value to all your web solutions. Like the XML and like the Ajax, it has a definition, and you have to recognize that in order to know when and where to use this technology, where to adopt it. So, in final conclusion, the jQuery, before we give any definition, any theoretical definition, what is it? It's a technology to enhance the work on implementing or when we design web solutions, when we build web solutions to give extra values. And the extra values and the added values, they are in terms of size and memory, time of processing, functions and ease of use, understand and a structured way of presenting the, let's say, the content or whatever, all the perspectives that you might think of that they can give an extra value and a betterment to your designed web solution, the jQuery might help in that. Might, why? Because you have to understand that it's not the unique tool you may refer to. We may talk about JavaScript only. We may talk about JavaScript only as a technology to enhance the work on, to add effects and to add extra value. Yes, we may talk that, but there are differences. So thus we talk about might give you an extra value, and you might think about the jQuery itself. The jQuery is a structure via which you use the JavaScript. It's a specific way how to use the JavaScript. It is built on the basis of the use of the JavaScript mainly. So it is a JavaScript at the end of the day, but written differently. I'll give you an example, straightforward. So it is JavaScript only. So it is a JavaScript only, and you are going to use it straightforward, but with different syntax. See the syntax here. So this is JavaScript, but we are not habituated and write things like that. The JavaScript, we are not habituated to use dollars. So this is a little bit different, but it is JavaScript only. Why? Because it uses specifically and precisely the JavaScript to build a given library, and the library holds predefined methods. Those methods, they are to give you actually an ease of use, to make you actually manipulate different objects within the web solution, within your designed web solution, easily, no more, no less. I repeat, and try to focus, please. Focus with me. The jQuery is a sort of way of gathered list of statements written in JavaScript to help you just call methods easily in order to avoid writing long lines of codes written in JavaScript. You just call a method name and you'll have the result. And this is actually to help you manipulate different objects within your designed application. So a library written in JavaScript provides methods. Those methods, you call their names only to avoid you writing long lines of code written in JavaScript to manipulate different objects. Simply. Manipulation can be done on the different objects on your web solution. HTML, yes. CSS, yes. Again, the events on the HTML tags, the events on. What are the example? Give me an example of an HTML event, please. Can you give me? Man, can you give me an example of an HTML event? Actually, please, it's the last class, almost. So be interactive a little bit. Ahmed Al Jabri, can you give me an example of an HTML event? Zuena, can you give me an example of an HTML event? HTML. We know the HTML is only a list of tags. HTML, sorry, yes, HTML, then the head and the body, then if you have any other tags. Give me an example of an HTML event. You understand that? Okay, at least you understood the question. The event is related to the HTML. An event, it can be an on-click, on mouse over, on drag, things like that. So what is the event to be controlled by an HTML? Only those types of properties, let's say. Those are events mainly. When a mouse passes over, or when you click, or things like that, or load. Those are the events that the HTML can handle. Yes, and all the technologies we saw also, they are all to be controlled. They are possibly to be controlled by the jQuery. Compatibility of the jQuery, it's with almost all the browsers, or at least the commercialized one that we have in our laptops as end users. Yes, it's compatible with that. It gives us actually event handling, and the events we talked about, as I said, the clicking the mouse over, mouse up, and so on, or the events that you may do on an HTML tag. In addition to that, the events, they might be actually also controlled more softly. The events is not only to control the click to be done or not, or the mouse to be passed over or not, but there are animations also that can be accomplished with those event control, like the fade in, fade out, let's say synchronous display, and so on. So there are animations that they can be also done, not only the control true false. No, there is an animation that can be also controlled using the jQuery only. So those different technologies, the JavaScript, the XML, or both of them, XML and JavaScript, which is the Ajax, they can be actually easily controlled using specific methods, which are APIs, specific methods built in jQuery. Yes, those are the animations, let's say samples that we may implement using the jQuery. Yes, we may control all of actually, those are a title of example only. They are not a limit. There is a long list of animations we may do on different controls or different events using the jQuery only. So relatively, actually, it's clearly less in size when talking about the jQuery, when you talk about the Ajax or the let's say JavaScript by itself. So relatively, it's smaller in size and memory. We talk the amount of code to write when you use the jQuery, it's much more less. So inside is comparatively, we have, when we say relatively or comparatively, it's a comparison. It's not to say it's small in size and that's it. No, we compare to what? To the whether the Ajax or the JavaScript by itself. Either the Ajax means JavaScript and XML, or the JavaScript only. So relatively or comparatively, it's less in size. It is to run on different browsers, and it is to be compatible with all the technologies you may think of. Means it's not only related to the ASP.NET technology, which is the concept and the drive of this course, but all the other web technologies, they are friendly and they are to be compatible with the jQuery technology. Means if you are implementing and design a different web application, web solution, the jQuery would be actually friendly with that. It can be compatible. It can give you results and solutions. Uh, yeah, famous enough to trust it. It does not need from you the library. When you said earlier, when you said that it is built on a library built using the JavaScript, the library is free. Means you can use it anywhere, anytime. It's free. You can use it anywhere, anytime. and it is implemented by a large, let's say, community specialized in JavaScript. It's not built by a simple one person or a simple one team. It's a large community in the sense of it is enhanced by a large number of specialists. Means we have to trust it. It is another fact to trust it. It's not only because it is used by very famous platforms, no, but also it is implemented through a large community members and specialized members specifically we talk. This is actually when we say that the jQuery, it is built on, it is actually a library built in JavaScript, but still there are functions that we may integrate using JavaScript only. Means we can use the JavaScript at the same file where the jQuery is running. So can we use simple JavaScript while we are having jQuery at the same page? Yes, the answer is true, we can. So this is a question you may have it actually the final. The jQuery actually it is a context actually of a library to be delivered to you whenever you are developing a solution. Through there are different techniques actually to deliver you this library. What is jQuery? It's a library built in jQuery in JavaScript. Here where it is, how to use it, how to call it, how to use its contents, the group of methods, how to use them. Actually, we have to deliver them. So to deliver this JavaScript library to you whenever you are developing the whenever you're developing a web solution, actually there are solutions, there are scenarios via which you use the jQuery library or JavaScript library nominated jQuery. So we are going to use it in one of the two scenarios, whether we are going to use it remotely through the cloud or we are going to download the full library and use it local, no more, no less. So in our case, we are going to get connected to the server where the jQuery is residing. At the end of the day, the jQuery library is residing and it's hosted by a web server. And this web server is going to give it to us, no more, no less. There is a way how to use it. So the content distribution network or the content data network, actually, it is one of the scenarios that delivers to us the specific or the specified library. There are benefits behind of this scenario here. Actually, it means we have to refer to the context of the way how to reach this jQuery library, because there is a context of positive fact, means the way how we are going to retrieve it influences the work of our web solution. So from the downsides of the using, actually, since we are talking about the way how to use, how to get the jQuery library, we talked about the CDN, the content distribution network or the content data network. It is a scenario which we use remotely the jQuery library, means we just link it externally. It has to be available somewhere on a web server, and we just call it. That's it. Just we make a call. We don't download the full library. No, we just make a call simply. So there is a side fact. There is actually a negative side from this scenario, which is actually the call of the jQuery library. One of the very famous scenarios is that this library, whenever you are talking about calling it remotely, it won't be available in offline mode. Means whenever you are thinking to use this library in an offline mode, when the classroom is not having the internet, it's an internet free, you are not able to, you are not using the internet, you are in the development phase, so you cannot have a remote access. You do not have internet. So this is one of the negative sides. In addition to that, there is a solution behind of this actually. In that case, actually, there is a solution for this scenario, which is actually you download the full library locally. It means you are going to host it in your local device, so you can download that. And this is not only that because of the internet uh, it's not available, but and you are running a development demonstration phase, but because of a problem that might happen to the web server, the server might goes down, it's not working. So there are scenarios where you have to think of downloading locally the full library to your local machine. So so that you have it once for all. Syntax behind just linking just linking the library, the jQuery library to your local machine. Just linking the jQuery library to your local machine. From this scenario, we have two syntaxes. We are going to see them. First of all, for it has to be actually from within the head body or head section. In your the call of the jQuery library, it has to be inside an HTML document, yes, for sure, and it has to be specifically in the head section on top of the page. Then inside the head, here it is, inside the head, we're going to call the library. The library, whether it is locally hosted, so we call only the file name. It's JavaScript at the end, JS.js. You see the extension, JS. This is a file name. jQuery 311 min.js. .js is the extension. So this is jQuery library. It's in JS only. The second syntax, which is actually to use the content delivery network or the content data network, we're going to use the internet to reach the same file. See here, the same file at the end, maybe, or something with a different name, but it is the same jQuery context. But we are reaching it through the internet. See, we have a domain here. So through the, let's say, the web server, we are reaching that library. So whether we download it or we use the remote one, both will give the same result. Both will give the same result. Yet this one works in offline mode. Even if you have internet access, it will work. For both scenarios, it will work. But this is a file hosted in your local server, so it has to be with you. So it is consuming time to load, and it is consuming memory space. Here no, we are only linking the library externally. It will work only if there is an internet connectivity, and it is not consuming memory space. But it is taking time to reach and download it, not to download, but to search the functions or the methods called remotely. It will consume more time, yes, but less memory space. So whether we use this or that, so both of them, they are successful. Two scenarios, they are successful. Syntax of using the first use of the content of the jQuery. So we are going to, after linking, see here we start the script tag, and here we close it. See here, we close it here. So we are just calling the library here through this statement. It's just a library call. After this call here, we have a program to do. We have a function to execute. We have a process. We have something to do. Something goes actually with the web solution or the designed web page, which has to be also delimited with script tags, opening and closing tags, opening and closing script tags. In between, we have to specify that this is jQuery. Specify that using the dollar at the beginning, and then after whatever you tackle as an object, and then after the method you need. So the syntax usually like that. Dollar to indicate that this is jQuery. Then the object in question to tackle in between two simple parentheses. Then the name of the method to call. The name of the method to call. What you want to do. What you want to do. Actually, to display, to hide, to fade in, to fade out, to make a slide, or whatever you want to do. Those are the actions. But the function has to be there. We will see an example immediately just to make you understand more. So to replace this block here, only there are what you want to do here actually. This is a command, no? So whatever you want to do goes there. So I'll come back here. I'll come back to this point. Examples, for example, we are going to hide a block. In this example here, it's the P tags, HTML tags, which is the paragraphs. Or we're going to specify a specific object where the jQuery has been executed. This, we're going to hide it. Or we're going to hide a specific class. See the dot. The dot here means that it's a class. Or the hash here is a specific ID. So there is something we're going to do. The hide, what is it? It's a method from the jQuery only. I'll come back here. Just I come back because I passed one slide. So other than jQuery actually needs from us specific syntax to follow. As I was explaining, there is an object that we are going to tackle that starts with the dollar to specify that it is jQuery only. The method actually it is from the list of methods that jQuery has provided to us. Then after we have actually a specific function to do, group of tasks to do on the HTML data. No, let's say on the whether the HTML body depends on the object you specified. And here in this example is the document, the full document. So it's fully. So here I come back to the explanation, to the specific explanation of the jQuery itself. Syntax that starts with the, let's say, a dollar. Then after the object in question, it might be the full page, it might be a specific component like here, this, or specifically written in name, or by either a class or an ID. Then dot, then the action you want, or actually the function you want to call. Dollar specifies that you are using jQuery. Specify the object or the element you are tackling in HTML, and the action. What is the task to do? Any questions, please?
No, sir.
That's great. That's great. So this way we are able to understand what is the jQuery, how it looks like, and where we can find it. So this way you are able to visualize clearly what is the use of the jQuery more or less as a technology and the syntax, in addition to the main functionalities. We need the download of the library or the call of the library, then the function creation. We can create a method using the jQuery. So here we may replace this this line here with one of those. Yes, because this is a statement at the end of the day. So only this one here, because we have to respect the syntax. This is the syntax. Okay, I'll pass to the next unit. I'll pass to the next unit if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll pass to the next unit. Let me pass to the next unit. So since you don't have any questions, the last unit, and actually from here we are going to see only the technology itself, which is another enhancement to building and designing a dedicated web solution, which is the link here. What is the SQL? If I ask you, for example, what is the Ajax? What is the XML? What is the jQuery? Finally, we were seeing. They are all technologies tackling the enhancement of web solutions. Here, the link, the library actually, or the language interface here, query, the language interface query, the link, it is one of the technologies that we may refer to retrieve and manipulate data from different objects. Link, language integrated query or language interface query, something like that. So this link actually it is one of the standardized tools they actually utilize to manipulate different objects, whether we are talking about database, we are talking about an XML object, we are talking about services or web services available on the web. So all of them we may or we might actually tackle and manipulate using the link. This uniform and this standardized technology, it is built using the C# and the VB.NET. This way we are deprived from the context of the, let's say, programming languages compatibility. Means we can say that this tool, since it is talking, since we are talking about the Microsoft environment, whatever the programming language we are using, C++ or C, or let's say C# or J#, or let's say even the R, we may actually have a unified interface that we may utilize to integrate or to retrieve, whether to insert or let's say to display, something like that, to read, using a uniform or a standardized library. This standardized library is built using the C# and the VB, built using the C# and or VB, both in .NET, absolutely. So those two technologies actually they are utilized to build a common, let's say, structured syntax. No, not this one. Actually, it is a common structured syntax, which is actually utilized to manipulate different objects, and those objects they are available on the web only. When you talk about the XML, as per an example, it is to be running on a network and specifically on the www environment, the World Wide Web environment only. When we talk about database to be integrated, let's say remotely, let's say interpreted, so it is a context via the web www environment, World Wide Web environment also, remote access. Web services, here it is clearly stated that it is over the web. In all cases, we may manipulate all of them, even not only one. We may manipulate all of them from within the same same web solution, or from within different bodies, using the link, using the this structured query syntax. Manipulation in the sense of manipulation or interpretation is in the sense of whether we are going to insert or retrieve. We're going to insert or retrieve. We are not going to deal with databases only. Remember, when we talk about an XML, what does it mean to insert? We are going to save. What does it mean to retrieve? It means to display. We are not dealing with the database entity, database table only. We can deal with that, but beside of that, we can deal with different objects from different natures. XML is completely different than, let's say, the SQL Server database, or databases in plural. It might have a relationship with web service, because web service they are to be built on top of different technologies, amongst of them the XML. Yes, there is a relationship, but even though web service is another technology, completely different from database and completely different from XML, that can be interpreted or manipulated using the link. Still we continue in the same context. The link actually it is a specific syntax to follow to implement the library, or the, let's say, the method in question, just to manipulate the documents, let's say the objects here. There is no one library that provides there is no one single format that you may refer to, because of at the beginning we said that the link is built in C# or and VB. Those are two different scripting languages. They are not going to be run altogether, but they can be run in parallel, each separately. Thus, we are seeing different formats. Enhancing or building, or let's say providing this link as a technology. Great. Developer, generator, the web solution designer. He has an interface. He has an interface via which he let's say communicates with the different objects that he might refers to. When we say actually the .NET means we are going to get connected to let's say a .NET component that reads data from a SQL server, data set or data reader. Those are the direct access and the indirect access tools or technologies. When we say the XML document, we are going to link to an XML structure, like it's an XML file, and so on. So the link, it's an interface that comes in between what the user, what the developer does, and all the resources he tries to get in, or gets actually to manipulate. Remember the position. Remember the position. Any questions, please, in this level? The same scenario here, actually the same, since no questions, the same scenario like the one we were discussing here. Still, we have actually an interface here, the link, language integrated query, the interface built using whatever the technology is. Then after the options we refer to, the things in green here in this graph, to reach the resources. Specifically, we cannot use actually, for example, the link to XML to get connected, for example, to a table, an entity inside a database. No, it's not the option. It's not the right option. We can use the data set to do that, yes, which is not the case, but we can at the end of the day, because the database entities, they're going to be stored locally in the cache of the browser. And then after we use the data set to populate a control. Thus, the link will deliver that to the end user. So we can use, but we cannot use the link to XML syntax or structure to link to a database entity. You understand this point, please? You understand what I'm just trying to present you? Data sets, they are solutions to store. We know the definition. It's not new for us. Store locally to avoid round trips, things like that. But still, if we want to communicate with a back-end technology, not directly, not straightforward to the, let's say, data source, we have to use the other technologies. We have to use actually the other.NET as a binding technology to relate the front-end interface to the back-end interface. Yes, we can do that. But still, we can use the resources, results, retrieved data from a data set, like component. This is all about the let's say the structure, how this let's say link works, means what is it and how it works. So there are positive facts of deploying and using this link. Means you are familiar already with different let's say programming language. This C# is not strange from you. You know what is the C#. Also the VB.NET, you know with that. So you are going to implement it because you know you are going to find it easy. Why? Because already you know the built-in tools. So there is an advantage behind using the link. Means if you think about the link, you are going to use it. Yes, you can have this option. Why? Because you are already familiar with the built-in technology. Also, it is to enhance your programs with faster, let's say, faster, let's say, actions. They they do and they process faster. Why? Because the code you are going to do is much more less. You are going to refer something similar to be the to the object-oriented concept. We are going to use this code. So better solutions. More than that, it is trustful and it is reliable enough to make you count on it. Why? Because you can actually find it easy to maintain and to follow at the end. This it is really trustful and you can um, count on. Yeah, it is not specific to let's say a certain type of computer, but it is standardized to different platforms. And since we are talking about C Sharp and VB or the Windows up-to-date environments, they are enhancing this technology. All the Windows up-to-date environments, they are enhancing this technology. Yes, due to less code, so less time in process. It is actually to use standardized and generic structures, and it is to provide you specific outputs at the end of the day. It means it can give you like the grid view and the controls, like the grid view, it gives you specific shapes. All of this actually, all of these, they are advantages of the link. So here there is a small comparison between the SQL and the link. Remember, like the SQL, it manipulates database objects. The link, it manipulates more than the database objects. It manipulates the database objects plus other things. We said that earlier. So it is much more powerful, the link. Any questions, please? I'll stop recording and I'll take the attendance. If you have any questions, you sorry, you say, and if you hear your name, just say yes, please.